And this video is very interesting. Okay, you should do.
Big surgery. Cosmetic surgery.
Oh, this is
It
just,
is their SOS.
This is the end. I'm going to.
Kissing.
Oh, kissing.
Word A. They are kissing. They were entertainers of the Korean woman or were sometimes a prostitute. She was kissing. She dressed up beautifully, but was sex slave.
This one is, you must be careful. This one is almost true. But this is almost true. But this is very much favor for Japanese right wing.
No.
Okay, but almost true. But you can judge. This is make sense, or this doesn't make sense. Okay, you can judge.
His oldest history book, Samgik Sagi History of the Three Kingdoms.
Sort of things, many YouTube articles, and for example, 95% is correct, but 5% they lie wrong things. Sort of mixing. Left wing, right wing. I'm going to show you the video. I'll show you the articles. You can judge. But I have opinion. But some is just judge your common sense. Okay.
It is a historical record of the Three Kingdoms of Korea.
Former 2 video, March 4th, this is a true story. But Japanese government, maybe at school, they never teach Japanese students. But this is wrong. Oh, comfort woman, you don't need to teach them, young people, but you should teach them Japanese occupation in 1910 to 1945. What Japanese government did the wrong thing. Japanese people never teach them, but this should teach them. How many people killed, how many people arrested, how many tortured, and sort of things, right? Like very similar to Nazi doing. The same similar thing they did for Korea. That's the reason why 100 years past the Korean people dislike us, right? Not comfort women. Okay, don't misunderstand history, okay? Just have a look.
Pech and Silla. It was written by Kim Bisik in 1145. We can discover records of Kwangyo and Kisei here. In 251, in the days of Goga Yeo 12th Charges King, the story to send a long-haired woman to way appears.
You have a look.
In 631. In 631. The 26th.
When you have see the statue of comfort woman, you think this will support to be right wing, right? But this is telling him. I believe this is true.
Silla sent 2 beautiful women to Tang in autumn and July. It is written for the record of China as follows. The Emperor of Tang thought that it was not good to receive these beautiful women and let them return home. The Emperor of Tang said, I was given a bird before. However, even a bird should have wanted to return to the own country. The Emperor said that I felt sorry for 2 women staying away from the parent and the whole families, and I let them.
So if you're going to show this video to Korean people, they never believe it. Why? This is obviously their statue of comfort woman. Like just they thought this is supposed to be manipulated history. Huh?
Turned home. In 646. In 646, the 26th king of Goguryeo Yeo sent a messenger to Tang in May 646 and apologized and sent 2 beautiful women. The Emperor of Tang thought that these 2 beautiful women were poor. He let a beautiful woman leave. To the Emperor of Tang, sex slaves arrived from 2 countries which fought each other. Sex slaves continued being given the Emperor of Tang secretly afterwards by Korea. Do you ask me why I understand such a thing? In 668.
All the way
668 sprang. The 30th king of Silla received an order from the Emperor of Tang.
Okay, going down a little bit.
The imperial family did not fight and they left the nation and escaped in the Jeonwa Island. all the places where the Mongolian forces went became the trifle.
Oh,
And
this
it
is
was in a
Mongolia.
situation that a skeleton covered the field.
Mongolia.
24. Yuan sent the armed forces of 1,400 people to Goryeo and required a woman slave for these office.
I'm moving to
Ming
the
era. For the
1409.
Ming era, the peninsula became Goryeo.
I'm moving to
During
1637.
120,000 armed forces,
Qin
the
Dynasty.
imperial family escaped into Gangwa Island again, but surrendered in 40 days. February 24, 1637. Clyde receives money and valuables. It's regarded as they sold their daughter as a slave, and this because they were displaced.
Now,
What does this mean? In this peninsula, it was an extremely general thing that a woman slave was an object of a buying and selling. A woman slave was
I show you this one, right?
She was kissing. She dressed up beautifully, but was sex slave.
This is another one.
And a kanji. The Hangul alphabet was prohibited in the 1494 by the King of Korea 11 charges. Japan brought back the Hangul alphabet after an interval of 390 years. The printing type of the Hangul alphabet was made in Japan, and both the paper and the press were made in Japan. 605 sayings were introduced in that book. Please look at her. She was 22 years old. Surprisingly, she of this photograph was still 9 years old. Japanese era, she were still probationers until she became 15 years old. However, it was different for Korea era. Korea era, all the kissings were sex slaves. Before the Japan era, the social position rank in the hierarchy was in Japan until the Edo era, but the slavery has never existed. After 1869, the Japanese believed that people were equal and freedom was natural. Japan stopped Korean slavery. If Japan did not do it, the people of 40% in Korea would be still called a slave. In Japan era, kissing and comfort women, they were not slaves. They were occupational kissing and prostitutes. They were able to earn money. They were able to use it for oneself and a family. They were free. They were able to go for one's intention anywhere. Japanese era, they were not slaves. This is a newspaper out of the recruitment of comfort women of 1944.
This one is actually Comfort Woman.
The South.
Okay? Advertisement.
The army soldier at the time was 20 yen per.
You can see 3,000 yen is more than 20 or 30 times than soldier. Okay? 50 times, they said. 50 times.
The salary of the comfort woman was at least 300 yen then. Generally, it was around 1,000 yen per month. This was a salary 50 times as large as a soldier. This was the salary that one could buy a house in 2 years.
In 2 years, buy a house in 2 years. Also, the 3 times bigger than general.
Yeah. It's very large.
In this time, a corrupt supplier made a young woman a prostitute. A local newspaper did such case for news. Where is the article that Japan made such a thing?
This one said, I just somewhere in the slide, I'm going to explain this Japanese police caught Chinese, dealer so those people, young child, try to caught them to bring to China. So Japanese policemen caught them.